Welcome back to Sly 2. Now on to the next episode. Again, once again, to exotic India.
Gee, Sly, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing
Yeah.
you do every night.
Now this is
Rob
time to
a
get
bad guy.
It's time to get into the nitty-gritty of the drug cartel part because these guys are fucking pusher. Yeah, it's called Spice here, but you're not fooling anyone, game.
Not really, no.
He's since crowned himself Lord of the Hills, and while he goes to great lengths to convince others of his royalty, it's mostly to convince himself. True to form, he's holding a lavish ball in his newly purchased ancestral.
So you know what this means, dweebs? We have to do a Bond-style ballroom infiltration.
The symbol.
Okay,
so,
If you
wait,
saw the
which
wings
Bond?
silhouetted against
Any.
the night
So
sky,
Sly is
it
gonna
was
need the
already too
smoking.
late for you, especially if your name was Cooper. Rajan believes displaying the wings will bring him prestige.
because if it's George
and
Lazenby
maybe they
Bond,
will.
he'll probably try and
But
be
they'll also
like
bring
a
me.
martial artist and punch everything really fast.
Maybe.
Okay.
Sly Cooper and the gang in a starry-eyed encounter. Oh my. So yeah, once again, like I said, much like the other episodes, you will be in this hub. Usually the first mission is really just like having to hang around and catch photos. But again, I'll use this time to get all the bootles and off screen. I will just showcase it. Usually the last one that I get. But then it will be time for recon, if I remember correctly. I should be cut away. Either I showcase a bit of the hub world or I cut away later. Basically, once again, showing all the bottles gotten is a long process. But might as well not showcase in its entirety because it will just meander, nothing much going on. There you go. This is one thing that I was talking about. Some treasures in the war map are rigged with explosives, and if you don't manage to put them in the hideout in time, they will explode, and sometimes they deal damage. But in every case, they will be unsellable. But if you manage to get in time, Bentley will automatically be able to sell them and to get some goods that you can then use to purchase stuff on the Thief.net. Again, new abilities for all three characters. This is also one thing that I forgot to mention. This is a game like if you see, it doesn't have any more the horseshoe, but it has like a health bar. But now your power-ups are assigned to a specific meter, the orange one under the mask. And this this is consumed over time, and this ranges from different kinds of power-ups, like a smoke bomb, for example, or different types of bombs for Bentley, for example. Hold on. Yeah, this teaches you again the ninja spire.
What? You think I forget one of the Cooper family's greatest thief moves? Whenever I'm near pointed objects, I just need to jump and hit the circle button to perform a ninja spire landing.
That's correct. Now let's see it in action.
Go
So
away.
yeah, there's
There
a
we
bit
go.
more nuance to this kind of jump now.
It's kind of the same thing, but again, this is actually an ability that will be essentially a staple of the franchise. I will not forget about it, unlike some others. So there's that. There you go. Sorry, go on.
I like to imagine that the reason Sly doesn't use all the abilities in the previous Raccoonus is because he wouldn't
wants
find
a
it
challenge.
sporting enough. Yeah.
But no, much like in the previous game, the guards will be, in terms of what kind of type animals they are, will be themed, in theme with the country they're in. Hold on.
I figured out how to sneak in above the ballroom without being detected. The only problem is there's no way to climb up to that balcony door.
Not a problem. There seem to be plenty of branches for me to walk on. I'll figure it out.
Sure.
By the
Basically,
way,
yeah.
Sly, could you please explain to me what the hell is up with my mouth animation?
PS2 technology, my friend. PS2 technology.
Actually, one thing that I actually, just for confirmation, because it's something that I only heard about, that never checked about myself. Apparently, Green Scratch actually played some of his games, and apparently, Son Call Me Johnny is good at doing a Bentley impression or something.
I don't think I've seen that. I'm more familiar with his.
Okay.
I'm more familiar with his Luigi voice.
Ah, okay. All right, time to catch some photos.
Doesn't Sly. Just don't go
Yeah,
out on
very stay behind the curtain and take photos because it's time for some foreshadowing. First, let's see what the actual Clockwerk parts we need to get here. There we go.
Looks like the wings have been welded onto that statue.
Somehow. Hold on. Yeah, let me get a better picture. There's the. Oh, as I was saying, whatever. I'll get in our time. There we go. There's the villain, Rajan.
That's him. Rajan's really pulled out all the stops to impress people with this party.
Of course, he wants
Well,
to do his best to
impress
come up
or
like a civilized member of society.
Those characters seems a bit two-dimensional, but whatever.
They look heavy. Getting the wings out of here.
Yeah,
would be a
this is
real
basically
struggle.
one episode where the suspension of disbelief kicks in big time, but all in due time.
An electronic witch. That could be useful. Maybe you should get some shots of the guests.
Time for
Yes, a
some
good job,
foreshadowing
though.
towards the other villains of the game. First, Jean Bison, a Canadian bison, as the name suggests.
And Canadian shipping baron.
it's a good job that one can hack into their communications.
Thankfully, Bentley is good at this kind of shit. Next up,
Oh,
Right back.
Arpeggio.
Arpeggio.
Despite the name, he's actually British, a British parrot.
Specializes in exotic technology.
And who
Next
do we
up,
have over
an
here?
Interpol agent, the Contessa, Eastern European Black Widow.
Prison warden for Interpol. She must be working undercover to expose Rajan's spice ring.
So we have an Interpol agent here amongst a few other bad guys.
That's because Carmelita is also here.
Carmelita's here too.
Oh boy.
Be undercover with the Contessa to help bust Rajan.
And if Carmelita is here, that means Neela is also here.
Neela,
So the party's pretty packed.
With both bad guys and,
party is
well, guys
Law
who still want to
enforcement.
see us in jail.
That's all the photos I need. Bring them back to the safe house and we'll start building a game plan.
Yeah, the gang is gonna have to work out really hard for this one.
Yep.
Stealing the Clockwerk wings in the middle of a crowded ballroom is going to take some serious misdirection. And the squad of undercover cops only makes things more complicated. Although, we might be able to use them to our advantage. But no matter what we do in the ballroom, sooner or later we'll need to deal with Rajan's security chopper. Murray can take it out with some of the local armaments, but he won't be able to get inside the palace until Sly lowers the drawbridge
Yeah.
for him.
First being first, lower the drawbridge and then deals with the aircraft.
Sly, Murray and I can't get inside the palace unless you lower the drawbridge.
I'd love to, pal, but the winch is all locked down. You know where I can find the keys?
Zai, what's going on with that? Okay.
Sneak in, pick all of their pockets, and bring the keys back to the lockdown winch.
Alright, this is actually really simple. Just steal 5 keys from all over the map. Again, it's also another good way to teach you where to go to let you get accustomed to the actual map of the episode. To see all the nook and crannies, the things that you can exploit, your potential escape routes, where enemies patrol, and stuff like that.
Precisely.
Alright, this one is a bit tricky. You need actual sound to actually lure the guard away. Can't just go behind him because he's literally facing up the balcony.
You can use noise to lure this guard from his post. Try ringing that gong
Already ahead of
Picking
you.
his pocket when he returns to his post.
There we go. 1, 2, everyone. Only 2. Actually, it was actually more merciful, I forgot. But yeah, another thing that compared to the previous game is also noticeable is the type of animation that went into Sly's tail. The way that thing moves, even when Sly is like something on a spire, like when he's on a one point and he's just standing there, is actually well detailed. It never like clips or anything. It's actually well animated. You can tell that the team actually, went the extra mile in making sure that it worked properly. There we go, number 2. So Dweebs, in the meantime. Dweebs?
Dibs is not here right now. Please leave a message. Beep.
Oh well.
Well, let me try it. Hi guys, I'm Dwibs. What do you want, Tail?
No, it's
That's a nice American accent you're going for with a British guy.
Well, I was.
Well, that's the thing.
I felt like speaking American today.
Also,
Actually, you
Jova,
know what, to be fair, that is a thing Dwibs likes to do a lot.
not to mention Jova, also from personal experience, but people who try to do a British accent but are not British speakers, 9 times out of 10 instead divulge into Australian, which is very easy to do.
I mean that's kind of the thing that I've noticed. Whenever other people try a British accent, half the time they sound like what Tio just mentioned. But other times they sound like as if London's like the only place in Britain that exists.
Anyway, Dweebs, what I wanted to ask is, you mentioned in the previous game that you weren't convinced much about the voice acting. I know that it's a bit early in the game, but what do you think so far? Do you think it has improved a bit?
Yeah, in that the characters actually talk like normal. Well, normal.
Cool. Honestly, that's fine.
It's to still being a bit cartoony, obviously, but not as awkward.
Okay.
I mean, I get it. First game of the series, especially around this time, you're gonna have a few bits of iffy voice acting. It's like when Final Fantasy X got it for the first.
If I recall correctly, James Montero was at the beginning of his.
I still don't buy that excuse personally. I mean, if the Crash Bandicoot games could get good voice acting, why couldn't 10?
Japanese company opposed to an American company, maybe.
Well, get an American company to do the localization then. Go ahead.
Well, that's the thing, Pedro. For the first Crash game, even though the voice acting was passable, you can clearly tell it was just one guy doing all the voices.
True, but
Clancy Brown was doing everything?
No. It was Brendan O'Brien.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, except although, funnily enough, the Japanese version actually had different people doing different characters.
Honestly, you know what's funny? A lot of people argue that Brendan O'Brien is still sometimes the best take for certain characters. Not Cortex, no.
Oh, so
but
it's him that does the weird orgasm voice for Crash when he gets a gem? Ba-da-ba!
Yes. He's also the one who voiced Pinstripe Powderoo in the original.
Well, if he's everyone, yeah, he really is everyone.
Yeah.
He didn't voice Ripperoo. No.
No, that was a stock laugh effect.
Yes, from Disney.
not to mention too, Konami is a Japanese company. That didn't stop Metal Gear Solid from having really great voice acting.
That's because that was their already first venture, and they probably had better connections. Square, for Final Fantasy X, Square was like at one of the very first things they did in that regard.
Oh, let me guess, not a fan of the localization of 10.
It's not so much
Honestly, I'm fine with that.
It's not so much the localization itself, Jove. It's the fact that the voice acting is very, very questionable. A lot of the time. A lot of times the actors.
Even with perfectly decent voice actors involved.
Oh no, and the actors are not the problem. I want to get that out of the way right now. But back to
All
this.
right, now it's time to get a dress, like I mentioned, a smoking for Sly.
No.
Sorry, pal. No tux?
Wow, I mean, I love how they're not even raising an eyebrow about the fact that the guy was clearly dressed like a bandit.
To be fair,
Once
Joe,
we
but
get
this
in.
party is held by a criminal, so and he doesn't really have a quarrel with his like gang right now.
Huh.
Don't
It's just
beat
weird.
yourself
You'd
up,
think that the
Regiment.
Claw gang
Party
might have
this
gotten
Ritzy,
wind
there
about
has
the
to be
fact that
smoke
one of
and
their
some
operatives got
Dimitri is kind of
captured.
an idiot, so I get the idea we just let that pass. Not to mention, let's just say that the dialogue near the end will pretty much tell you, that there was no need to be alarmed right now. So yeah, now it's time to steal actual piece of clothing. Yes, apparently Sly cannot find one-sized, smoking, and to steal different pieces from different rooms. Not even joking.
You'd think that with all the money these guys make from their criminal activities, that they'd have enough money to just go and purchase a tux.
Funny you mentioned because Sly 3 will actually introduce different disguise costumes, that the gang will keep. Thieves in Time also will have something similar to that.
Well, given the gimmick of Thieves in Time, I'm actually not surprised there.
Mm-hmm.
Any plan which involves
I
ransacking
don't know
is
what I'm
okay
saying
with
yet,
me.
too. I'm just going along with what you guys are doing.
You're smiling and waving.
But
Good.
yeah, no. My primary issue, Jove, is that there are some good examples, like the guy voicing Oron. Who is it again, too?
I forgot, but he's a veteran, basically.
Yeah.
James Ortero actually was near the beginning of his career.
Yeah, true. Like, for example, Eddie Burris. Don't get me wrong, I love Eddie Burris, but a lot of times the direction she got in 10-1 was like a lot of times she sounds way too monotone. Like
I'm
compare
guessing
this
you prefer
to
10-2's voice acting overall.
well, yeah, I prefer 10-2 in general anyway. But yeah, like in 10-2 they definitely told. But then again, it was part of the Charlie Angel's tone of the
There
game
you
for her to
go.
level up
Which
anyway.
she's voiced Judah as recently as 2018.
Well,
so-
she's the official voice actress of the character.
Anyway,
so.
Matt McKenzie voices Oron, but here's an interesting fact. He's mostly a movie and television actor. Oron is literally his only video game role to date.
Shame. I like them.
One thing I love about the Sly Cooper universe, we're doing with elephants as the main bodyguards, yet if you may
But
have
there are
noticed,
actual
Yes!
elephants. Yeah, like
there's literally an actual elephant on all
I
fours.
think I mentioned in the first game, but this franchise takes the whole Goofy and Pluto paradox and runs the fuck with it.
Yep.
Like, seriously, so does this mean that the elephant that is forced to carry people around is considered a lesser elephant than the
Not
elephant?
just that, Jova. Not just that, Jova. In later games, since we will kind of run out of original animals to go with, sometimes we will have the same type of species of animal, just in a different context. So yeah. Honestly, I don't mind too much. Considering once again, I think I mentioned this in the previous in commentary. This is clearly not. Honestly, up until Zootopia/Zootropolis, I don't think any of these kind of setting with anthropomorphic animals actually bothered with the idea of giving a meaning behind their appearance outside of aesthetic. Because, to be fair, Sly's appearance is pretty much everything. Raccoons, they have fur that's similar to a mask, so it's perfect for the kind of protagonist that is a thief. I get the thought process behind it, but other than that, sometimes we just decided to have that paradox going on just because it works better for them. But honestly, once again, I don't really blame them because it's a thing that has been a constant for so long anyway.
Oh, don't get me wrong. It's not even a thing I hate so much. I just get a kick laughing at it. That said, do you think that in the movie, if that movie is ever actually going to see the light
I thought
of
it was
day,
actually worked as a TV series.
I don't know. I mean,
And
okay.
Sony certainly is not willing to tell anything right now, but topic for another time.
The last I remember is just that trailer that we keep on getting. The one that
That was like,
involved-
what, 4 years old at this point?
Oh yeah, remember when that movie was supposed to come out about a year from the time that
And it's a
trailer
shame
was
because,
released?
like I mentioned, the voice actor for both Sly, Bentley, and Murray are all really eager for they already enjoy their roles because they're pretty much the ones that define their careers. So of course they really like them
That being
and want
said-
to reprise it as much as possible.
That being said, considering how badly the Ratchet and Clank
I
movie
get
was
the idea that
I
it's
get the
because
feeling
of
it's
that.
yeah.
It might have been because then again, if Sony actually wants to get on with having their own, gaming adaptation cinematic universe that they keep saying they want to make, that might have helped. I don't know.
Hell, if anything,
Why
why
is
for
can't they
now-
just give the job to their very own animation
Well,
studio
first of
anyway?
Well,
first
just
of
giving
all-
it to their own animation studio
Yes,
wouldn't
there
exactly
is a-
guarantee good things.
Well, first of all, Uncharted has to get past its most deadliest rival, Space Jam 2.
Not just
Yeah,
that.
that's another thing that I mentioned. I get the idea that first they want to have to see how the Uncharted movie turns out, and then move on from there.
Mhm.
When it comes to the Sly Cooper movie, though, if they canned it because the Ratchet and Clank movie did bad, then well,
Why wouldn't they just say that it's cancelled? Outright.
okay.
Better to say something
Not
than
only
nothing.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I think that okay, unless the Sly Cooper movie was also going to be, the same case of, like what the Ratchet and Clank movie was, an adaptation to a game, then they may have gone a little too ahead with it. Because, okay, look, let me put it like this. Granted, the movie had not come out yet, but if the Sly Cooper movie was going to have issues, I think they would have been different issues than, say, the Ratchet and Clank movie here. Like, I'll just say this. Canceling any other projects related to games that you may have had just because that, this particular movie that was sort of a back and forward adaptation with the video game coming out at the time is really a bad take because, well, as far as I know, the Sly Cooper movie, that one was not going to be hindered by, tying itself in with a video game for starters, which is a major issue of the movie.
That's the thing, Joe. It's actually the opposite. The game itself was a tie-in to the movie itself because the game uses even cutscenes from the movie.
The game, and once again, the game is actually instead a proper remake of the first game. It kind of detaches itself from the plot of the movie because of that.
Don't you see, too? That's why they called it a reimagining, and I'll just say this, I prefer the original.
Well, Jova, I guess there's a good reason why they're going back to the original timeline then.
Yeah.
Good on them.
But no, again, like... otherwise, we're getting a Mighty Number 9 situation where time is passing and nobody knows what's happening. Probably, maybe at some point, we will just drop it. Like, this was still happening.
I guess one does have to wonder how far they got through with it. Like, don't get me wrong. Obviously, a trailer can just be like a bit of animation made, and it's a shame because that animation looks so good. But
as an early prototype, sure. I didn't like some of the designs. Like you can see Bentley's eyes. You should not to do that. It's like seeing Eggman's eyes. You don't need to do that.
Well, we kind of did
Judge
get
Dredd's
those
face.
in 06.
But that's exactly what he means, Shiroi. That's exactly what he means. We shouldn't be able to see that.
It's like seeing Judge Dredd's face. So they did do that.
But
I mean,
anyway,
technically, Adventures, the redesign of Eggman did that first, but that's a different canon. Go ahead, too.
No, but again, if the project will still be made, well, we'll only have to see and wait. Again, I will actually give a pass for this year alone because this is the year where a lot of projects had to be delayed anyway. So if this year is an extra reason why Sony could not show the product, I can actually understand because this year there have been a legitimately reason for that.
well, you do raise a good point, though, about why Sony just hasn't given any word about it.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know. Well, okay, no, we know there's that movie that I keep forgetting the name that Sony Pictures is doing. The one that has the trailer that spoiled everything. I forgot what it's called. The one that it's about family, but then it turns into a robot invasion. I forgot what it's called. Pedro?
Oh god, that
Oh,
movie
sorry.
that came out. Was it The Burrows? No.
It still has to come out, you know.
Sorry. Could you repeat that, please?
Sony Pictures has to release that movie. I forgot the name. The one that has the trailer that you showed to me and the others that spoils everything. That has the robots at the end.
Oh, connected.
Connected. There you go. So Sony Pictures is doing something.
No, don't worry, Teo. Apparently, it's still coming out in at the very least 7 days, because it still says 2020 on the thing.
Pedro, not telling you, but by the time we're making this public, it already be 2021.
Well, okay, at the time of this recording, there you go.
Yeah.
See?
anyway, we have the smoking, so let's get in.
What if it comes out the next day?
Yes.
All right.
That would be like one of the most.
Who wants a rhythm game for dancing?
It would be one of the biggest stealth releases ever.
Also, Sly is so professional that he needs to keep his mask on, even with the smoking.
The only problem is she's picky about
Of course she is.
so you'll need to impress her first.
All right, I know just the girl
Of
for the
course
job.
you do.
Constable Neela, you look lovely this evening.
I'm sorry. Do I know you?
Seriously?
I used to chase after you back in Paris.
Paris? Sly Cooper? You aren't by any chance here to turn yourself in?
Not
Old
really.
Ironsides would fall out of her dress.
Yeah, she calls Carly the old Ironsides, poor bastard.
Yeah, I know. I love your accent, even though I have no clue what the hell it is.
All right, time to dance. Now this is actually pretty simple. Basically, there you go. It's a sing-along. Repeat the gestures once there you go. Once it's your turn. Actually, pretty easy, honestly. Especially even when it becomes a bit harder, you know, it's still relatively easy to handle. You just need a key memory for when it appears. It's not like it goes super fast.
But yeah, this is definitely some James Bond stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that part where Bond had to respond to Dan's moves by pressing a button on his PlayStation.
Why in a fursuit? Yes.
Man, Nayla's such a great wing woman. Like, you know, she's willing to actually help make Carmelita jealous so that
she's really helpful.
Yeah, I mean, she's a really great confidant, isn't she, Tio?
Mm-hmm. This is why she appears in the rest of the series afterward.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely.
Dumb.
That fellow is very graceful.
If only you moved spice shipments as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, not the time. Yeah, the thing about Jean Pisoni is that he is technically a bit out of time, but we will learn more about that during this chapter. But compared to the previous game, this is actually very good foreshadowing because you get a snippet of what the future villain will arrive, and Jean Pisoni is not, properly introduced until 4 or 5 episodes from now, so it takes quite a bit to get to him. Well, that's pretty impressive.
Good story structure.
Mm-hmm. Especially because you're actually facing an entire gang right now, a rival gang. So again, you get the chance where, well, aside from Dimitri, we're kind of all in together. But it will not be the case for the next game, because the next game instead will be focused on standalone villains, scattered all over the war without a proper cohesive narrative outside of what the gang wants to do.
You, Constable Neela. After all, it takes 2 to 10.
Ooh.
And 3 is always a crowd. Neela, your friend here is quite an accomplished dancer.
You sound the same!
Neela, his skills far surpass you.
Seriously, this is the thing that I don't get it. Like, did no one in the production team thought, you know what, we should actually have spent an extra buck on a different voice actress for Neela? No? Really?
Honestly, she's had so few lines so far, they could have had somebody at the studio do it. It wouldn't be the first time.
Anyway, we'll have to dance with Carmelita, properly another time. This was just basically warming up. Now instead it's time for Murray to take out the chopper.
That chopper is a menace to all future aerial operations while on this job.
Yeah, It's all covered in missiles and guns and stuff.
Now
Made it Rob Liefeld.
and take it out with that rusty pre-war turret.
Okay, I had a potato gun once. I'll bet it works just
Yes. Yes. Sure, let's go with that.
He's helping.
Oh no, it really is. Murray may be a bit of bumbling, but he gets shit done, so there's that. And it really is strong. Besides, this game is also bent on reinforcing the camaraderie between the gang, so each of them will have their own moments to shine. Classic turret section, the turret can get overheat, so pay attention to the meter down. The problem is that compared to some other games, the turret overheats really fast. And that's basically for the entire game, because the turrets work basically the same. Honestly, I was shocked the first time Pedro showcased the fact that in Gears games, the turret overheating can be, speed up, speed down, to, recover it faster. Because it was like the first time I actually saw it happening like that.
It's to keep the pace going.
Most like, but again, even in general, not just this game, a lot of games that have the turret section are like, okay, the overheating, and then you have to forcefully weight down. I get the idea that the turret for Gears was designed also for the multiplayer, so that's why they had the cooldown speed up option. Yeah. Basically, you need to balance how you use the turret in order to damage the chopper, but also damage the missiles that are incoming, because thankfully for this kind of section you get like an extra L-bar that represents the vehicle that you're in, and it's much more sturdy than the one of your character, so you don't die like in one hit. But you're still not, it's better if you still don't get too much hit on you. There we go. Yeah, and this thankfully doesn't work with the Konami laser scope. Was there actually a gun controller for the PS2? I forgot.
I don't think so.
I know it might be, because there were some Time Crisis games on the PS2, and Namco loved to use the gun controller for those. Let me check. While I'm at it.
No, I don't know. I don't think that came back until the move on the PS3 too, to be honest with you.
I don't, not officially, it seems. Anyway, there we go. Now, tuning instead next time, where the gang will have to work better in order to get to the rest of the ball and steal the wings. Yeah. See you for that.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.